Yeah, something's up. Once again, if you're just joining us on ABC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels, Chris Christie up in Air 7 HD as we continue to follow this Garden Grove pursuit. Garden Grove PD pursuing this Dodge Caliber down the 22 freeway. This is in the general area where the pursuit began, but not before he ventured all the way up down the 91 freeway off of the 605 in Downey and continued through LA County past Lakewood before getting back on to the 405 freeway southbound and then onto the 22 where we now find ourselves. He's basically committing to the 22 freeway, now approaching Santa Ana. California Highway Patrol keeping an eye on this pursuit as well, waiting for the request to hand this off. But right now, Garden Grove PD, very close to their jurisdiction on the freeway, continuing this pursuit. They are the primary agency, a primary unit, a secondary unit, and a canine unit, as well as a fourth unit in the back there, ready to execute a felony stop. Once this pursuit does come to an end, you can see him getting off of the 22 freeway here. Getting off of the freeway, we'll get this exit here in just a second. Your heart skips a beat with this pursuit every time he decides to get off the freeway, because the driving off of the freeway has been considerably more erratic and more dangerous as time has gone by every time he gets off the freeway. Now at Westtown and Country Road on a two-lane street here, continuing in the opposite direction, now going westbound and getting around traffic here, blowing through red lights every time he traverses these surface streets. breaking every rule in the book and just refusing to pull over. We have seen a passenger in that passenger seat. Incidentally, we can't get a good description, nor do we know what the crime here is. Not exactly sure whether this is their vehicle or whether it's a stolen vehicle. We really just don't know at this point what else may have prompted this pursuit. In any event, you can see the dangerous driving continuing up Main Street here in Santa Ana. Again, Garden Grove PD, still the primary agency here. Not really in a good position for a pit maneuver, especially this time of the day. He's got to slow down, and there's just a little too much traffic out there to really spin this guy out of control. So they're following now from a safe distance, just trying to keep up with him and trying to maintain a visual so that when he does slow down or stops the vehicle, they could bring this person into custody. Hopefully it comes to a peaceful end. We always hope for that, but in any event, the chase continues here up Main Street, with little traffic there on the right side, but the southbound side of Main Street seeing much more volume. You can see he's heading back towards the freeway here. We'll see if he's going into a residential neighborhood, maybe a neighborhood that he's more familiar with. Again, this all started in this general area. We don't know exactly where, but in the general vicinity of Garden Grove, Santa Ana, somewhere around here. That's why Garden Grove PD began the pursuit. We can assume that they have good reason for continuing this pursuit. As I mentioned, they ventured all the way into LA County after this guy without handing it off to the California Highway Patrol. California Highway Patrol, again, monitoring the pursuit and helping out with their helicopter up above here. In fact, is the helicopter still, or did they pull off? Did the CHP ship pull away? I haven't seen. He's still on him. Okay, CHP still on him, and here comes a possible pit maneuver as he's going just about 45 miles per hour, speeding up now with that Garden Grove PD coming up along his left fender, about 50 miles per hour, now westbound on West Orangewood Avenue. Garden Grove PD applying a little more pressure here, testing the driver, and now going into oncoming lanes of traffic over the double yellow lines. That primary unit continuing the pursuit, following him across that median, and now back on the correct side of the road, westbound Orangewood Avenue. Under the 57 overpass, continuing westbound Orangewood. A little more volume here, slowing down to about 40 miles per hour. Again, too much congestion for a pit maneuver, but that primary unit applying pressure, keeping a close distance between himself and that suspect vehicle. Those windows are pretty heavily tinted. We haven't really been able to get a good look inside the vehicle, and the tinting itself appears to be peeling off. So it's just a little bit difficult to see inside with those windows rolled up. We'll come back actually when we get a chance. We'll try and get a better glimpse in front of the vehicle through that front windshield. In the meantime, you can see him continuing westbound Orangewood Avenue, speeding up as that primary unit pulled up very, very close behind him, almost showing signs of executing a pit maneuver. He didn't really have a great opportunity, but it was a good test to see what this driver would do, and basically he just stepped on the gas pedal. Now Garden Grove PD following that suspect onto the eastbound side of the road, going the wrong way on Orangewood Avenue, and police following him on the opposite side of the road there. Now back on the correct side under the 5 freeway. Will he come out? There he is, coming out the west side of the 5 freeway, continuing along West Orangewood Avenue, doing just above the speed limit with a lot of congestion at these various intersections here, and refusing to obey any of the signs. He's just refusing to pull over, really driving pretty recklessly, and destined to get somebody hurt here if he continues blowing through these intersections. You can see he's continuing at about 53 miles per hour, just above the speed limit, as Garden Grove PD is not letting up. A right turn into a possible, is that a residential neighborhood it looks like? All right, that's going to be Mountain View Avenue. Looks like an office park. And now circling this block here, making another right turn. Now 5 units in this pursuit. Garden Grove PD with 5 units in tow as they continue to chase this person through surface streets in the Anaheim area. Now on Tangerine Lane, pulling into an alleyway, another alleyway, possibly showing signs of attempting to dump the vehicle. He might stop the vehicle and just run for it. Look at this. Look at this. A pickup truck in his way here. What's that all about? Driver jumping out of the vehicle and just leaving his truck there, running out of the way, and those Garden Grove PD units just swerving around that parked vehicle right in the middle of that street. That person had no idea what was going on. He ran out of the way, and the driver continuing down an alleyway behind Hester Street, heading back south now. Southbound Hester Street. Once again, the wrong way, and now here comes a pit. They're going to try that pit here, but he's speeding up. Right as he was about to execute a pit, the driver stepped on it, and we'll see if they have another opportunity here. Again, wild wide turns through these various intersections, not stopping for any of the red lights, and now continuing the loop through this neighborhood. We were just here a moment ago. Now he is continuing to circle this area through alleyways and surface streets, zigzagging through Anaheim. Another narrow alleyway. It's a mostly commercial area here. Lots of office, it's an office park with lots of commercial buildings. Coming out onto Mountain View Avenue once again, making a northbound turn, a left onto Mountain View. Another alleyway, and the PD units will continue through these alleyways. Narrow streets, very narrow alleyways, tricky to say the least. You never know when he's going to end up in a dead end when he starts venturing into these strange alleyways. And now you can see they are continuing the pursuit through this neighborhood here, around this office park. Lots of pedestrians out. Vehicle slowing down. The vehicle is slowing down, coming to a stop. Vehicle coming to a stop, hands up in the air. Hands out the driver's side and passenger side of the vehicle. Both hands out the driver's side. The suspect apparently about to surrender here for some unknown reason, coming to a stop here at Leatrice Lane and Mountain View Avenue in an alleyway behind a commercial business. There's that canine unit ready to chomp if he is in a position where they need to use force. Right now, it appears that those suspects are ready to surrender. We will see if they obey the commands by Garden Grove PD. A lot of people out and about, residents in that apartment building right there, catching a glimpse, being told to walk away. Those Garden Grove PD units telling folks to stay away, and now you've got folks and kids coming out to catch a glimpse of the action here. A terrifying scene. You just don't know how this is going to end, even though it appears that these suspects are willing to give up. They have to clear the area here before they order these suspects out of the vehicle. Right now, it's a good sign that we see those hands out the window, both the driver and the passenger ready to give up here. Hey there, Booth, go ahead. Yes. Okay. Pardon us as we prepare to go live on ABC 7. If you continue to follow us online on abc7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels, you are watching the end of a pursuit, what appears to be the termination, as the suspects inside that vehicle, a Dodge Caliber, who were refusing to pull over, leading police on quite a joyride out of Garden Grove, now apparently ready to surrender with their hands out the window. Garden Grove PD in the process of executing a felony stop here, but there are so many pedestrians in the way and kids milling about, residents in that apartment building trying to catch a glimpse or a photo of the action, and it is not an ideal situation to instruct those suspects out of the vehicle yet. If they are in the crossfire, that would, of course, be a much worse situation. So right now, it does look like they've cleared at least the driver's side, ready to let that driver out of the vehicle. He's opened that door with his hands out the window. Let's go ahead and push in there as he looks like he's basically obeying commands here, although I don't see his hands anymore. Looks like his left hand is out. He's still in the driver's seat, communicating with those officers. Garden Grove PD ready with the canine. You can still make out the hand of the passenger. They're just not comfortable yet ordering these suspects out of the vehicle. There's just too many people milling about, and it is too high of a risk at this point. You can see there are plenty of officers ready to make the arrest, but they need to clear the area. They have a little bit of a crowd control problem at the end of this pursuit, and there is an agitator, a couple of them, who are right in the line of fire in front of the vehicle, really kind of animated. This is a real challenge for those officers, although right now it does appear that these two suspects are cooperating for now. There's no telling how things could change if they make one wrong move here. And as long as they show their hands, that's a good sign. But if they go reaching for anything or put those hands down, sometimes in a situation like this, the hands will get tired. The arms will actually get tired, and, you know, they drop the hands. Now, here they are. Here's a female passenger with her hands in the air, now following command, stepping backwards in the direction of those officers, about to give up. They're going to place the passenger under arrest first. That driver is not showing his hands. Here comes an arrest team arresting the female passenger. And just so uncomfortable seeing that crowd just a few feet away from the end of this pursuit. Everybody coming out of this apartment building to catch a glimpse of all the commotion. You can see a lot of a wide range of audience here, elderly folks, children, everybody coming out at the sound of those sirens when they really should be going back inside. They've been instructed to step away, but nonetheless, they now have a crowd control issue at the end of this pursuit, just a few feet away from where those guns are pointed. Officers with their guns drawn, aimed squarely at the driver of that Dodge Caliber. And you can see there is still one or two people in front of the vehicle who are either trying to interfere here or just catch a glimpse. But in any event, they're getting in the way, and that is the cause of this delay. By now, you would hope that they would have taken the suspect into custody, but with that pedestrian walking around and trying to communicate, it is a bit of a liability. So here we are All eyes on the driver's seat there. You can see that suspect with the baseball cap on, black cap, black T-shirt. Had his hands up at one point, but we do not see them anymore. Looks like his hands might be back up there. Officers now approaching the vehicle. Good move. They can see his hands, and they can approach the vehicle and place the suspect under arrest without having to worry about crossfire issues with those other pedestrians. So it looks like the driver is prepared to give up peacefully. He'll be pulled out of the vehicle here in just a second. They will frisk him immediately. They just don't know what they're dealing with in a situation like this. You just don't know what's going on inside the vehicle, whether there's any other weapons back there or whether there's anybody else in the back seat. Here they are. They're going to clear the trunk and declare a code 4 here in just a second as this wild high-speed chase has come to an end here in Anaheim. Garden Grove PD have got their guy, and all's well that ends well. Nobody hurt over the course of this pursuit, but a dangerous one nonetheless, coming off of the freeway, traversing surface streets in Garden Grove and Santa Ana, coming to an end at Leatrice Lane and Mountain View Avenue. That'll do it for our coverage from up here in Air 7 HD. Reporting live, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Are we